Speak Amazon domain name equals news greater than an American living room. 1952. The glow of a black and white television flickers. A family leans forward. On screen, a senator holds up a piece of paper. He claims it holds a list of names. Traitors. Spies. Communists. This is the image we remember. Senator Joseph McCarthy. The face of the Red Scare. But this image is a distraction. A convenient villain for a much deeper story. The real story isn't about one man. It's about a machine. A silent, invisible apparatus of fear. It operated in the shadows. It was fueled by whispers and secret files. And its victims weren't just spies or politicians. They were teachers. Actors. Factory workers. Your neighbors. This is the story of the hidden hand that rewrote America. The secret blacklists. The private spies. And the lives that were systematically, and quietly, destroyed. America after World War II was a nation of confidence. Victory had been won. The future seemed limitless. But beneath the surface, a new anxiety festered. The Soviet Union, once an ally, was now a rival. The Iron Curtain had descended across Europe. Fear needed a new target. In 1947, the machine was switched on. President Truman signed Executive Order 9835. It was called the Loyalty Order. It demanded a loyalty investigation for every federal employee. Millions of people were suddenly under scrutiny. The questions were invasive. Vague. Have you ever associated with a subversive person? What books do you read? What newspapers do you subscribe to? There was no right to face your accuser. The source of an allegation remained a secret. A rumor was as good as evidence. This was only the beginning. The hunt moved to a more public stage. HUAC. The House Un-American Activities Committee. Its new target, Hollywood. Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? The question was a trap. Plead the Fifth Amendment, and you were seen as guilty. Refuse to answer on First Amendment grounds, and you faced prison for contempt. 10 men chose this path. They became known as the Hollywood 10. They went to prison. But their fate was a warning to everyone else. The committee wanted more than confessions. It wanted names. I am no longer fighting for myself. I am fighting for my wife and my child. Don't present me with the choice of either being in contempt of this committee and going to jail or forcing me to really crawl through the mud to be an informer. Parks was forced to name names. His career was destroyed anyway. He was a friendly witness, yet he became a pariah. The machine had no loyalty. It only consumed. Behind the public spectacle, a parallel system was being built. One even more insidious. J. Edgar Hoover's FBI was watching. And listening. Agents compiled secret files on thousands of Americans. Actors, writers, scientists, activists. Information was gathered from informants, wiretaps, and mail interception. This information wasn't for prosecution. It was for control. It was ammunition, waiting to be used. The government wasn't working alone. Fear had become a business. In 1950, a small paperback book appeared. Its title, Red Channels, The Report of Communist Influence in Radio and Television. It was published by 3 former FBI agents. They ran a private consulting firm called American Business Consultants. Red Channels was their product. It listed 151 artists with alleged ties to subversive organizations. The evidence was flimsy. Signing a petition. Attending a rally. Sponsoring a progressive cause. But in the climate of fear, the accusation was the verdict. This was the hidden hand at its most effective. Television networks and advertising agencies were terrified. They didn't want boycotts. They didn't want trouble. So they started calling American business consultants. For a fee, the firm would vet potential employees. They would check names against their secret files. A phone call could end a career. No hearing. No appeal. Just a quiet removal. Consider the story of Jean Muir. A popular actress. In 1950, she was cast as the mother in a new TV show, The Aldrich Family. Just before the premiere, her name appeared in Red Channels. Protests, likely organized by a small number of people, flooded the network. The sponsor, General Foods, panicked. Jean Muir was fired. She hadn't been on air for a single second. Her crime was a list of affiliations from a decade earlier. Her life was upended by a pamphlet. This was the blacklist. It wasn't a single, official list held in a government vault. It was a decentralized, privatized system of censorship and control. Run by profiteers. Enforced by corporate cowardice. And it spread far beyond Hollywood. University professors were fired for their political beliefs. Librarians were ordered to remove suspect books from shelves. Union organizers were branded as communists to break strikes. Everyday people learned to look over their shoulders, to watch what they said, who they befriended. And then came Senator McCarthy. He didn't create the fire. He just poured gasoline on it. His wild, televised accusations amplified the paranoia to a fever pitch. He was the public face of a system that was already deeply entrenched. The hidden hand now had a very loud voice. The machine seemed unstoppable. But the very medium that fueled the fear would also expose its lies. Edward R. Murrow, a broadcast journalist of immense integrity. On his program, See It Now, he decided to fight back. We must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. We will not walk in fear, one of another. We will not be driven by fear into an age of unreason. Murrow used McCarthy's own words against him. He showed the contradictions. The bullying. The cruelty. He revealed the man behind the curtain. For the first time, a major public figure challenged the narrative. The spell began to break. The final act came during the Army McCarthy hearings. McCarthy accused a young lawyer in the firm of Joseph Welch, the Army's chief counsel, of having ties to a leftist organization. Welch's response would echo through history. Until this moment, Senator, I think I never truly gauged your cruelty or your recklessness. Have you no sense of decency, sir, at long last? Have you left no sense of decency? The hearing room erupted in applause. The bully had been silenced. The nation watched, and something shifted. McCarthy was formally censured by the Senate a few months later. His power was broken. But the end of McCarthy was not the end of the machine. The Blacklists persisted for years. The FBI's secret files were not destroyed. The culture of suspicion did not vanish overnight. The lives that were broken were not magically repaired. Dalton Trumbo, one of the original Hollywood 10, wrote screenplays for years under pseudonyms. He won 2 Academy Awards without being able to claim them. The Red Scare left deep, permanent scars on the American psyche. It stifled creativity and dissent. It taught a generation to fear nonconformity. It justified a vast expansion of government surveillance. Powers that were never fully relinquished. The true mystery of the Red Scare isn't about the communists that may or may not have existed. It's about the terrifying ease with which a free society can be convinced to trade its liberties for the illusion of security. It's a story of a hidden system of control. A system built on paper files, whispers, and private ledgers. A system that proves that the most dangerous threats are often not the ones shouted from a podium, but the ones that operate, silently, in the shadows. /Amazon domain/speak